What up, AOK Mafia? It's your boy Artofkickz. It just like that. We back with another one. Alright, y'all. So I've been wanting to react to one of these videos for a while. This is my 600-pound life story that ended in tragedy. Okay, I didn't know. I didn't read the whole title of this, but yeah. So y'all know we on our fitness journey right now to get into the best shapes of our life. At least by the end of the year. You know, we started in January. We're supposed to get it down to end of June, 6-month challenge, you know, because that's what people was doing on TikTok, 6-month transformation challenge. Y'all, I tried to go to the gym today. I was completely exhausted. It was an ab day for me. I went through one set. I didn't make it to the second or third one. And yeah, so I ended up just doing cardio and getting the heck out of there. I was so tired. I was so tired today. But hopefully I'll be able to do better tomorrow. So I'm going to try again tomorrow. But yeah, so we about to check this out. But y'all don't forget, we got the merch available on the website right now, artofkickz.com, for everybody that's trying to get fit, get in shape, whether you're trying to lose weight or gain weight. Limited supplies, you know. So anyway, we're about to get into this. Y'all ready? I'm ready. Y'all, again, this is my 600-pound life story.
Plenty of reality shows that document weight loss, but My 600-Pound Life stands out as it focuses on the lives of real people. Unfortunately, that means viewers get an intimate glimpse into the sometimes tragic outcomes along with the...
Hold on, you guys. This is a story that reigns close to me because my mother was an obese woman and she's no longer here. She wasn't this big. But she had enough weight on her that it was her demise.
And glimpse into the sometimes tragic outcomes along with the successes. Here are the My 600-Pound Life stories that didn't end well. Dr. Now may seem like an unlikely reality TV star. However, he's the only person who appears in every episode of My 600-Pound Life, and his skills in the operating room are the reason why. The veteran surgeon isn't known for his small talk, but he clearly lets his patients know what they're facing without diminishing their humanity. Oftentimes, Dr. Now offers his patients a reality check on the conditions related to obesity. According to a journal published by the National Center for Biotechnology Information, complications can include...
Oh my goodness. Look at the weight on this woman right here. Look at this. That's a leg, you guys. You see this child right here? That was me. I could see the pain on this child's face. I'll explain more later.
Include high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, sleep apnea, stroke, heart disease.
My mother had sleep apnea really bad and she had a stroke. And she had diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, all that.
Depression, cancer.
She had depression.
Arthritis, and gout.
She had arthritis.
Now that you had the surgery, the physical drive to eat is gone. So you have to deal with what is driving you to eat.
Many patients on the show successfully lose weight after therapy, diet modifications, increased exercise, and weight loss surgery. But sadly, some of the show stars can't make the lifestyle changes, or pass away due to the stress on their bodies.
Oh,
Robert's situation was dire from the outset. It didn't take long for Dr. Now to discover that Robert not only weighed nearly 850 pounds, but that he also had an addiction to painkillers.
Oh.
I hate that this is our life and that this is Rob's life.
Could call the wings, love wings.
But nothing stops him from eating.
After a rocky start, Robert was able to finally get some control over his compulsive overeating. The New Jersey resident had a lot of love on his side, including that of his mother and his fiancée, Catherine. With that support and a whole lot of work,
Y'all see your choices don't only affect you, but the ones that care about you as well. You see how they have to tend to this grown man as if he's a newborn baby or someone that's elderly that can't do for themselves. That was most of my life. I had to tend to my mother like that, to the point where I didn't get to live my own life. And that was a a big part of where a lot of my depression came from. I know I'm telling you guys something I never told you guys before, but that's part of the reason why I wanted to do one of these videos. Yeah, hard times.
Side, including that of his mother and his fiancée, Catherine. With that support and a whole lot of work.
See her face? I know what she's feeling. I know exactly what she's feeling.
Robert managed to lose a significant amount of weight under Dr. Now's care, almost 350 pounds, including the surgical removal of a lymphedema mass. Unfortunately, the surgery left Robert depressed and longing for painkillers again. He even tore his own stitches hoping to get more of them. Tragically, Robert passed away from a heart attack in November 2017 at 41 while the show was still filming. Dr. Now was not...
He was only 41 years old.
Shy about expressing his frustration at the medical system for its complicity in Robert's addiction, which ultimately killed him. He also hailed him for being a fighter.
He knew that he was running against the clock and his body gave up, but he never did give up.
Few of the stars of My 600-Pound Life are more notorious than the ASSANTI brothers, Stephen in particular.
And Stephen ASSANTI suffers from severe psychological issues, so he's going to be a unique case.
The pair may be bound by blood, but Stephen's antics ensured that he and Justin were not brotherly to one another. For one, he pretended to be following Dr. Now's strict diet during the show, but was secretly binge eating. Additionally, he would manipulate and bully anyone, including his father, to get what he wanted. He also continued abusing painkillers, including stealing Justin's while he was healing from his gastric bypass.
Wow.
You're the big boy that just tortured me all day.
Because of Stephen's continued and repeated abusive behavior toward his brother, which started in childhood according to Justin's Reddit AMA, Justin ended up quitting Dr. Now's program in spite of both his father's and the doctor's best efforts. He also accused the show of blackmailing him in a now deleted Reddit post. As of mid-2019, he lives in Rhode Island. It appears that Stephen is out of the program too, and is now living in Iowa with his new wife, according to Starcasm. Sean Milliken seemed like he was moving in the right direction after
That's wow. Look at this man's foot. I've never seen anything like that before in my life. Y'all see that? That is insane.
a rocky start on his weight loss journey. After initially weighing in at nearly 900 pounds, Sean was finally able...
Oh my God, look at the frustration. This dude can barely move around in the bed.
To turn things around and get weight loss surgery. That, in turn, helped him drop hundreds of pounds and regain his ability to walk. According to his follow-up on My 600-Pound Life, Where Are They Now?
I know I can hit all these goals in the next year. And that's what I'm determined to do.
But in 2018, tragedy struck when Sean's mother passed away, according to TLC. Understandably, he was devastated, as he and his mother were extremely close. Subsequently, he had to move out of his Houston apartment. In yet another sorrowful turn of events, Sean passed away in the hospital due to complications from an infection in February 2019. TMZ reported that his father wrote on Facebook, he was having problems with his breathing. They were able to resuscitate him, and a short time later, his heart stopped. Sean was just 29 years old.
Oh my goodness.
Having the courage to work with Dr. Now and appear on My 600-Pound Life isn't easy. And unfortunately for some patients, they're just not ready to conquer their addiction to food and completely overhaul their lifestyle. Such is the case with Penny, who appeared in Season 2.
I let food be the way that I found solace.
She was initially able to lose 40 pounds on a controlled diet, so Dr. Now...
I have a food addiction as well. And I'm an emotional eater. I'm an emotional eater. And I punish myself with food when I'm in my feelings, in my emotions. Last night, I was up to like 3 a.m. and I was just eating. I don't think I ate a lot. I ate some kettle potato chips, like kettle cooked barbecue potato chips, and 2 peanut butter sandwiches. obviously I don't need that bread at all, white bread especially, even though it's low calories, the bread I got. But nonetheless, I was in my feelings, so I was eating like crazy. At least to me, that was eating like crazy.
Approved her for weight loss surgery, but after Penny's gastric bypass, she gained 5 pounds when she should have been losing weight.
530 pounds.
It appeared she was secretly having food brought to her. Penny eventually left Houston and moved back home to
I'm gonna stay on this side, you guys.
Maryland, quitting the program altogether against Dr. Now's professional advice. In her follow-up episode, he stated plainly that her addiction will kill her.
Either people around her stop enabling her.
Look at that. Look at that.
Or her addiction eventually is going to kill her.
Penny's Facebook account has been mostly dormant, which only fuels speculation that her diet is not going well and seems to confirm what Dr. Now called her, quote, delusional thinking. Dr. Now is known for giving patients the hope they need to turn their lives around and the tools to help them on their journey. That's what Kelly Mason was looking for when she made the trip to Houston to meet with the famous surgeon.
Every day is a bad.
I hate that people allow themselves to get like this. You see the struggle to go up a flight of stairs. I'm pretty sure she had to take 2 or 3 breaks before she can get up this small set of stairs. Whether it's 8 to 10 stairs. She had to take a break somewhere in between. I know for a fact because my mother had to. My mother had to hold on to my hand just to step up a curb that big.
A day. And every step is torture.
When she arrived, viewers learned that she had a host of health issues, including high blood pressure, a blood clot in her leg, type 2 diabetes, arthritis, thyroid issues, reflux, and heart problems.
My mom had all of that except for the heart problems. She had a clot in her leg. She had all of that except for the heart problems.
It was clear that she needed help.
Some days it just feels like it would just be easier if I wasn't here. People could just move on.
Things started looking up for Kelly when Dr. Now admitted her to the hospital, where she was able to lose over 200 pounds. She then had weight loss surgery and dropped another 100 pounds. Upon discharge, she was hopeful and committed to sticking to her diet and exercise regimen, but Kelly's heart had already suffered too much stress despite her best efforts. She passed away in her sleep of a heart attack in February 2019, according to Inquisitor. Dr. Now pointed out, however, that she hadn't returned to her old habits. She went out fighting. Like many of the stars who appear on my...
Oh, man. That story probably hit home the closest as far as her being a black woman, her having that weight on her, my mother, all that. Even like seeing this part right here, let me go back, hurt, because I've seen my mother like this right here, where you have, oh, she's cute, where you have to have somebody help you to get onto a bed, and you have to have multiple strong people to do it. But my mother also went out fighting. My mother was able to reverse her diabetes. My mother was able to drop some pounds, some weight. I wouldn't say that she completely went back to her old habits. She definitely adjusted at one point in time. But yeah, didn't really, she did kind of go back to her old habits. For the longest, she ate better. She ate more healthier. But towards the end, she was eating how she wanted. Not cooking. She just literally had me walk to a freaking whatever, a fast food, McDonald's, Burger King, Chick-fil-A, freaking Waffle House, anywhere. They were all in walking proximities, and I would just go there every single day. All of them. Crystals, Taco Bell.
When Dr. Now admitted her to the hospital, where she was able to lose over 200 pounds. She then had weight loss surgery and dropped another 100 pounds. Upon discharge, she was hopeful and committed to sticking to her diet and exercise regimen, but Kelly's heart had already suffered too much stress despite her best efforts. She passed away in her sleep of a heart attack in February 2019, according to Inquisitor. Dr. Now pointed out, however, that she hadn't returned to her old habits. She went out fighting. Like many of the stars who appear on My 600 Pound Life, James was initially unable to leave his bed due to being almost 800 pounds and had a painful skin infection.
But even though I still open my eyes...
Oh my God. God. Oh. The last year of my mom's life, she had a bed like this. Where it's almost like a hospital style bed that had a controller you can elevate up and down. Because she couldn't lay on her back. Like, for this guy to be this big, if my mother laid down, period, on her back or on her stomach, she wouldn't be able to breathe at all. So the fact that this dude is this big and he can breathe laying on his back, that's crazy. That's amazing. My mother couldn't breathe like this. She had to sleep in an elevated position.
Each day, I'm not living life.
She slept on the couch on her knees, like in the corner by the arm. Like, imagine it's your knees. You just put your knees and just lay across the arm of the couch. She slept like that for years.
Because I'm...
Probably, I don't even know how many years. 5, 6, maybe more. 8, 10.
Just trapped in this bed all day.
Additionally, James's family had made some huge sacrifices for him, including his daughter dropping out of school to care for him, and his father refinancing his home to get him to Houston via ambulance to...
You heard how his daughter dropped out of school to take care of her father. I mean, she's a young girl. And she's sitting here having to look after her dad as if her dad is an infant or elderly. This is what I'm talking about when I say that your choices affect those around you as well. This was me. I didn't leave the house till I was 28 years old. First time I went to a bar. First time I started clubbing. And that was after my mother was gone. First time I went to a bar, I was 28 years old. I didn't know nothing of the world. The street that I live on, my dreams couldn't go past it. I knew nothing else but the street that I lived on. Don't do that to your kids. If you can't do it for yourself, do it for them. Do it for the ones that love you. Fight. Get up and walk. At least you can do is walk. Walk till the fat start burning off. People will make all kinds of excuses. But excuses are like assholes. Everyone has them. And they all stink.
See Dr. Now. But when James arrived in Houston, he hadn't lost the weight Dr. Now required him to. He dropped a bit while supervised, but soon thereafter, viewers learned that James had instead gained enough to weigh in at 840 pounds. Eventually, Dr. Now told him to leave if he wasn't willing to stick to the program.
My dad's gotten worse, and I'm worried that he's close to losing it all. He basically already has.
I know what she's feeling. It's hard when you have to sit there and worry about your parents like that each and every day, all day. Like I said, that was a part of my depression. It wasn't the whole thing, but it was definitely a huge part. My constant worry for the well-being of my mother. Constant worry. All day, every day.
TLC caught up with James a little later. things hadn't improved. In fact, Dr. Now called Adult Protective Services on James's girlfriend when he discovered James was suffering organ failure, and she was still bringing him food while in the hospital. Dr. Now dismissed him once again, citing his inability to make changes. As viewers learned on her episode, SCHENEE endured an extraordinarily difficult childhood. In order to cope with the pain, she turned to food at an early age and slowly grew to be 780 pounds.
Food made me feel better. It made me feel happy.
Hopeful that she could turn her life around, SCHENEE turned to Dr. Now for help. But she was never approved for weight loss surgery because she refused to follow the diet and exercise plan Dr. Now gave her. She and her husband were even caught ordering pizza and burgers to her hospital room.
You both need to stop lying. You came here to have weight loss surgery. You haven't lost any weight in 4 months. Why?
Since the show, SCHENEE has posted a handful of videos on her YouTube channel, some of them from hospitals as she struggles with her health. And while she claims to have lost weight on her Facebook page, any progress appears difficult to discern. As one of the first stars of Season 1, Henry Foots endeared himself to viewers with his kind disposition and sincere desire to attend his high school reunion looking his best.
My total fear is death. I'm gonna die. I know I will die if I don't have the surgery.
Thanks to his hard work, Henry went from 750 pounds all the way down to 275 pounds and was poised to put his past behind him. But in a heartbreaking twist, Henry passed away in 2013, several months after having a medical episode while driving a bus, according to Starcasm. The cause of death remains unknown. Many of the stories on My 600-Pound Life have especially tragic beginnings, which trigger overeating to cope with difficult feelings. Season 7's
Interesting. I heard what she just said. Difficult beginnings be part of the reason why people use food as coping mechanisms. Is that true for me too, and I never paid that no attention?
Unknown. Many of the stories on My 600-Pound Life have especially tragic beginnings, which trigger overeating to cope with difficult feelings. Season 7's Mercedes was no different. Mercedes weighed in at 700 and...
Woo! Woo! Y'all see her legs? My mother had an issue with her legs being not this big to this degree, but this is, wow, I thought my mother's legs were bad. My mother had fluid that was just, you see the kind of the holes, kind of like pores in her legs. My mother had fluid that would just drain constantly out of her legs like that. It was coming out of her thighs, her calves, her thighs, her calves, her the arch of her foot, the fluid. And I had to dress that every single day. And when I say dress, I mean, you know, take care of it. Take the bandages off because they were full of this fluid. She was going on dialysis at that time too to kind of help manage that fluid that was coming out of her. Her socks and stuff would just be drenched with this fluid that just started seeping out of her legs and stuff. I mean, it got to the point, it was so raw and it was just open. It was just, you could see the meat inside and it would just run down her legs. So I had to bandage that stuff up. We're talking 5 to 6 times a day. That's how rapid that fluid was draining from her like that. 5 to 6 times a day. I don't even know how long it went for until it started to heal and close up. And I had to do it. I had to do it because if her legs and feet and stuff were to get infected, they would have had to amputate them. So it was a very difficult time for her. But what it was doing for me emotionally, it was taking such an emotional toll on me that my mother recognized it at one point because I couldn't hide the feelings on my face anymore. I couldn't hide my feelings. Even though I wasn't saying anything, I was just helping her because that's all I ever knew. It got to a point where the stuff did start to heal and get better. But in my eyes, nothing was getting better. Her health was getting worse. So I remember her recognizing my feelings, and without me saying anything, she was like, baby, I see what this is doing to you. I'm starting to heal enough to where I can manage my bandages myself. So you don't have to do this anymore. I was like, Mom, are you sure? I could do this. You're my mom. I could do this. She's like, no, baby. She's like, I see the pain.
£73 was dependent on her young children for care and was struggling with severe lymphedema. She clearly wanted to be able to live a normal life.
I know it's hard for her because she want to do for us and us not do it for her.
But Mercedes wasn't able to qualify for weight loss surgery. She had only lost 80 pounds and was full of excuses as to why. According to her Facebook profile, she's now living in Cincinnati, which is a long way from Houston, so she's likely off Dr. Now's program. One of the most shocking things ever on My 600 Pound Life was when Lisa Fleming's daughter discovered maggots in the folds of her mom's skin. It seemed like...
Oh my, look at all that food. Why is she gonna eat all that? This woman had maggots in the fold. Oh my goodness.
That would be the wake-up call that got Lisa motivated to stick to the diet that Dr. Now had prescribed her, especially since she weighed over 700 pounds. That was also on top of needing a team of paramedics to get her out of her house.
I hate that there's so many people that live like this. I hate it. I hate it. Yeah, when my mother couldn't move, this is what had to be done. A lot of people, a lot of men, strong men, to move her.
House. Although Lisa did lose some weight under supervision, she gained it again when she was back home. Viewers watched as Lisa's manipulative tactics became apparent, arguably some of the worst in the show's history. By the end of her episode, Dr. Now was clearly frustrated with Lisa's unwillingness to change and dismissed her from his program.
When all you do is give in to what's easy, you sometimes forget it's the more difficult challenges that make you stronger.
Her awareness of that is something special. When you give into what's easy, you forget that it's the difficult challenges that make you stronger. Her awareness of that is amazing. Because a lot of people aren't aware of that. And that's why I push myself every single day to do what's difficult. Because the difficult things have made me stronger. Every time I settled for what was easy, I was miserable. I woke up this morning exhausted because of how I ate going to bed last night. I still went to the gym, still got some good cardio, still burned some calories. That's what's difficult. To do the things that you know you need to do as much as you don't want to do them. I've only eaten one meal today. It was some tacos. It was some Mexican. I ate 4 tacos. Bomb. Good. I'm going to eat something light later, a salad, and that's going to be it.
Even a year.
A big part of the reason why I wanted us to go on this fitness journey is because of stuff like this. I don't want any of us, and I know some of y'all are watching, are big. It's a shame, and this is not me trying to shame you guys, but it's a shame that the shirts that sell out the most that I have are the 5XLs, 4XLs. I can't even go any bigger than that with the print companies that I use, but some of you guys ask for 6XLs. That's not okay to be that big. We need to get this weight off of us. I'm trying to drop my 3X to a 1X. I'm trying to live longer. Because I know what the outcome is. I watched it twice with my mother and my aunt. And now they're no longer here. They left us real early. My mother was 51. My aunt was 54. That was young. Real young.
Year after Lisa appeared on My 600 Pound Life, she passed away at her home at age 50, according to page 6.
See?
Jeanne's life had not been an easy one, and it only seemed to go even further downhill during her episode of My 600 Pound Life.
My life can't get any worse, but my body and my health are getting worse by the day.
She first appeared in a messy home along with her mother and a father who struggled with severe mental illness. And by the time Jeanne and her mother Barbara arrived in Houston, things took a turn for the worse when Barbara had to be hospitalized due to illness. Then, Jeanne's father back home was discovered dead in his bed.
Wow.
Unfortunately, circumstances proved to be overwhelming for Jeanne, who decided she wasn't ready to follow Dr. Now's program. Instead of staying in Houston, she returned home. We certainly hope she'll get the help she needs in the future. James L.B. Bonner quickly became a Season 6 fan favorite.
There's days where I feel so worthless. I think I'd be better off in the ground.
After struggling with food and alcohol addiction and losing his foot after an ATV crash, James's weight ballooned to 650 pounds. Unable to care for himself, he decided to seek help from Dr. Now, determined to make a change. It was clear that James was a success story. He went from 650 pounds to less than half of that, and was sticking to his diet and exercise regimen. Additionally, he had become a burgeoning social media star, with more than 8,000 Facebook followers, according to Starcasm. He was doing so well and losing so much weight that TLC halted his photo and video sharing, hoping to avoid any spoilers. But sadly, no follow-up episode would ever air. Tragically, James took his own life in 2018 at age 30, according to People magazine.
Oh no.
I thought my brother was great. I had no worries. So I want to reach out to people out there that love alone is not going to save them.
This is true. This is true. Love alone is not going to save anybody.
You or someone you know is having suicidal thoughts, please call or chat online with the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-TALK or 8255.
I definitely encourage anyone out there right now that's watching this to call this number, to call this chat line and talk. I'm pretty sure they'll be more than willing to listen and might even be able to provide and guide you in the right direction to get the help that you need. Man. Because I know I've been there. And love alone did not do enough for me. Because what's love from others if you don't even have love for yourself? Woo! Yeah, I'm sitting here thinking about how much I have suppressed a lot of these thoughts and memories because of how far I have come past them. And it took a while to do that. It took a while to do that because I had a lot of self-blame. I blamed myself for a lot of what happened those years. It's hard for me to even form my words and my thoughts because, like I said, this is stuff that I tried to put in the back of my head because it was pain that was so great. That's why you saw me in this video getting so emotional, tearing up, crying, because as I'm watching these families having to go through this, obviously the people themselves that are sick and obese, and their support group around them, it's all a unity thing, because it's like, hey, you're dealing with this and I'm helping you. Rather, I'm enabling you to be worse because I'm feeding you more, or I'm just here, just trying to do what I can for you to help you put your clothes on, to get out of bed, to walk to the bathroom, this, that, and the fourth. Those are things that I had to do. And like I said, watching this video just made all those memories just flood back, just come back, because for the longest I thought that that was all my life was ever going to be. When I tell you guys, and I've told you guys multiple times before, if my mother was still here, this wouldn't be a thing. This whole YouTube thing, this wouldn't be a thing. Me sitting in front of this camera talking to you guys every single day would have never happened if she was still here. Anyway, I can say more, but I don't want to at this point. Y'all know what time it is. Support your boy. Hit that subscribe button. I'm going to talk to y'all later. See ya.